How much do you know about the timeless Western TV show Bonanza? Probably not as much as you think. In this video, we'll unravel tragic details you didn't know about Bonanza. In addition to learning production secrets and behind-the-scenes facts, we'll address why the show has been able to stand the test of time. Although recent hits like Dynasty and Game of Thrones were successful, nothing in recent history has quite reached the level of Bonanza. Something about the relationship between the characters has cemented this show in history. Interestingly, the show's creator drew inspiration from King Arthur, which may be one reason the show stands out. But as beloved as the show was through its 14-season run, it also had its fair share of controversies. Here are some of them. Jill Cartwright height issues. On most TV shows, there's one character who's known to be the heartthrob, sweeping women off their feet. In the case of Bonanza, it was Michael Landon, who portrayed Little Joe. But there's one detail the production team kept a secret about this character. The handsome Little Joe reportedly wore 4-inch lifts in his shoes so he could appear taller on set. It's not uncommon for actors and actresses to enhance their physical appearance to suit a role. But this case is somewhat peculiar, as Michael Landon stood at a very average 5'9". The problem was his co-stars towered over him, with Lorne Greene and Pernell Roberts both standing at 6 feet. So Little Joe had to manipulate his height to come close to reaching their level. First season struggles. Given that Bonanza had a long, successful run, many viewers forget the first season was somewhat of a train wreck. It was damaged by poor ratings and low viewership. In fact, its reception was so bad NBC almost canceled it after the first season. To make matters worse, it aired on Saturdays, during a time slot that competed with the popular Perry Mason series. This meant Bonanza didn't even break into the top 30 shows during its first season. Luckily, the network saw its potential and chose to ignore the public opinion at the time. Bonanza was moved to Sundays at 9, and that's where the actual success story began. It flourished in that slot for the next 13 seasons. Season 2 started off much stronger than the first, aided by a sponsorship by Chevrolet. This sponsorship led to a spike in ratings and also helped fund production costs, which were too high for the show to sustain on its own. Most Bonanza characters wore hairpieces. One of the many reasons Bonanza is remembered so fondly is its star-studded cast of handsome Hollywood men. But all these men had a secret. They wore hairpieces on set. The only exception was Michael Landon as Little Joe, who didn't need one. Ben Cartwright, played by Lorne Greene, wore a toupee. At one time, he experienced a hair mishap while taking a dive into a river. Adam Cartwright, played by Pernell Roberts, also wore a hairpiece, which was a decision he wasn't happy about. But the show's creator forced him to wear it on set. The reason was simple. They believed the hairpiece made Adam Cartwright look younger than his TV father, Ben Cartwright. Since Lorne Greene and Pernell Roberts were only 13 years apart, the hairpiece made this gap look much larger and more believable. In the episode Thanks for Everything, Friend, his hairpiece literally got swept away in a river, an incident that was caught by some eagle-eyed fans. The third character who wore a toupee was Eric Haas Cartwright, played by Dan Blocker. This means Little Joe was the only main character with natural hair. Michael Landon started going gray, however, in his 20s and had to routinely dye his hair to maintain a youthful look. So while he didn't need a hairpiece, it can be said the entire cast had some well-kept hair secrets. Same clothes every episode. Frequent viewers of Bonanza might have caught this fact already. The Bonanza cast actually wore the same set of clothes every episode. This decision was made during the 4th season in an effort to minimize production costs. By using the same costumes for every scene and episode, they were able to save a lot of money when they had to refilm scenes, especially action shots. Eventually, the decision really paid off. By having each character in the same outfit, the show had an even more identifiable branding. It inspired other film and TV series to stick with a single costume for their characters. Well-known examples include Superman or Indiana Jones with his khaki clothes and a fedora. Production controversies. After a rocky start, Bonanza stood the test of time to gain a cult following in the US and the rest of the world. However, similar to other long-running shows, it fell victim to cast changes on several occasions. In 1965, after nearly 6 years as a senior cast member, Pernell Roberts quit the show. Evidently, he had an issue with the show's portrayal of wealthy ranchers, and even called it junk TV. He also accused NBC of producing unoriginal content, effectively burning all his bridges on the way out. The beginning of the 1972-73 season was also marked by tragedy, with the passing of Dan Blocker. The show's ratings started to fall drastically, which was bad news for the network and the production team behind Bonanza. In yet another controversy, Lorne Greene, who played Ben Cartwright, wanted out of the show after just 19 episodes. His reason was the show was nothing like what he was told it would be. In an interview, Greene specifically complained about the opening. He said every episode began with a family member pointing a gun at someone, asking them why they came to Ponderosa. Greene went to the producers and asked why they had to point a gun at each person. He felt the other characters probably didn't know they crossed into Ponderosa, and the main characters should greet them with less aggression. Surprisingly, the producers agreed and changed the show. The rest of the series focused more on love and family than Western violence. And the new focus on American family values is what helped the show remain relevant for so many years after it ended. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like, and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. The cancellation. Characters passing during the production of a series isn't too uncommon, but in the case of Bonanza, it subjected them to a challenge not seen before. Dan Blocker, who played the sound and easygoing Hoss Cartwright, tragically passed away after 13 seasons on the show. His unexpected death signaled the end of the show. Lorne Greene even admitted in an interview he didn't see how the show would continue. Michael Landon, who at the time was directing and producing the show, said it was too painful for him. The loss of Dan Blocker changed everything for the cast and the show itself. Bonanza started the 14th season without Dan Blocker or his character. They completed the season with 15 episodes ending in January 1973. While fans of the show may have wanted it to go forever, for the network, Bonanza was about business. With Dan Blocker's death, the network wasn't sure the show could continue with its same level of success. Ultimately, they decided to cancel in November of '72. The decision shocked the entire crew, but there was little to be done. Lorne Greene even admitted he never saw it coming. If he had, he says they would have gone out with a bang instead of with a whimper. Since its cancellation, several attempts have been made to revive the show. In the mid-'80s, Bonanza: The Next Generation was made. It featured no returning cast members and struggled to get any traction. Other efforts failed to even make it to production. Now it's time to hear from you. What do you think about the show's ending? Should it have continued without Dan Blocker? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all the latest content.